Emotional cars have to run on petrol. That's what many people still think. But Hyundai wants to prove the opposite, with fake gear shifts and a sound generator.
It even hits the limiter. That's actually pretty funny. Oh, I've got to say, they really nailed that sound.
The IONIQ 5N is a true master of illusion. This 650 horsepower EV is designed to make you believe you're driving a high-performance petrol car. But does the illusion really work, even for experienced car testers?
Welcome to the big magic show of the Hyundai IONIQ 5N. This car can transform before your very eyes, from an electric car into a combustion engine. At least that's what some of its gadgets promise, including a very special sound generator. Now, I'm usually skeptical about magic tricks, but I'm happy to be surprised. Powertrain aside, electric or petrol, the important thing is that it's fun to drive, and the mountain roads around Barcelona are a perfect playground for that.
It basically creates a new segment. The electric hot hatch, the performance compact. A bold move from Hyundai. To be fair, it's a bit larger than your average hot hatch, and with a base price of 75,000 euros, it blasts right past that segment's usual price range. Compact icons like the Golf GTI or Cupra Leon VZ cost around 46 or 47,000 euros. Much cheaper, but also less powerful. At that price, the IONIQ 5N doesn't just need to impress as a driver's car, it also has to cast a spell, giving us the perfect illusion of a combustion engine. But what does that even mean? Electric cars are often said to lack emotion, especially sound, but also vibrations, the smell of petrol, or that gradual power buildup, typical of combustion engines. So, what kind of magic trick does this Korean cube have up its sleeve?
Let's first look at the IONIQ 5N as a pure performance EV. The first thing that comes to mind is acceleration, torque. 740 Newton meters push the Hyundai forward in normal mode. And when I press the red button on the steering wheel, N Grin Boost, it jumps to 770 Newton meters and 650 horsepower for 10 seconds. Let's try that out. Whoa, that really moves. But we can take it even further. Let's try launch control. All I need to do is activate N launch control in the display, press brake and accelerator at the same time, and then let go. Whoa! And we're at 100! Oh, wow. You can feel the blood rush to your head. 3.2 seconds. That's a number you wouldn't expect from this kind of car. And it feels massive. Incredible.
The two electric motors deliver a combined 609 horsepower, and with boost, up to 650. Top speed is limited to 260 kilometers per hour, extremely fast for an EV. At those speeds, though, the WLTP rated 21.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Forget about it. So how do you tell this wild child apart from a regular IONIQ 5? Not all of them come in the flashy performance blue paint. Look for the red accent line running around the whole car, matching the red brake calipers. The rear diffuser adds 8 centimeters in length, the fender flares make it 5 centimeters wider, and with the N Sport suspension, the body sits 2 centimeters lower. And of course, the new rear spoiler really stands out. Inside, it trades the lounge vibe for sporty flair, contrast stitching, bucket seats, and that proud N logo on the steering wheel. Two 12.3-inch screens merge into one seamless display for driving info and infotainment.
So let's dive into the magic of the IONIQ 5N and head into the settings. There are two custom modes here, 1 and 2. I can quickly access them on the steering wheel, and here I can adjust them. That means everything from the motor, suspension, and steering. I can fine-tune the stiffness of each. And what's really special is this down here, NAS+. That's a sound mode. Let me switch to another setting. There are 3 different sound modes here: Ignition, Evolution, and Supersonic, and we'll try them all in a moment. We'll start with Evolution. I'm most curious about Ignition, but we'll save that one for last. Now, let's combine that with NE Shift. That's something very special. It's designed to make this car feel like a combustion engine. It actually simulates gear changes. There's even a real torque interruption. And you can use the paddle shifters on the steering wheel to shift from one gear to the next. Virtually, of course. But it's meant to feel as if you're really shifting through a gearbox. And that's exactly what we're going to try out now. All right, here we go. Okay, this feels straight out of a video game. There's even a little rally pop on the downshift. It's a really fun show effect. It sounds like some kind of futuristic Le Mans racer, I'd say.
Ja, Zukunfts-Le Mans-Renner oder sowas ist das, glaube ich.
Let's switch to another sound. Now, Supersonic. This one's supposed to sound like a fighter jet. Okay, yeah, I can hear the jet vibes. But honestly, I'm not fully convinced yet. It's cool as a gimmick, but it stays a show effect. So let's go for the one I'm really hoping for, the ignition sound. That's supposed to recreate the classic Hyundai N 4-cylinder engine from the i30N. We switch over, and instantly you get this dark, gruff engine tone.
Dunkles, kerniges Motorengeräusch.
Oh, I've got to say, they really nailed that sound. You even get those rally-style pops from the i30N. It even hits the limiter. That's actually pretty funny. Even though it's not a real gear, it stops revving at some point, and then the car doesn't go any faster.
E-Shift and the sound generator are just 2 of many performance settings available. N-pedal and N-race modes are optimized for track driving, improving energy recuperation and battery management. The N-drift optimizer reduces traction control, intervention, and sends most of the power to the rear axle. And with N-torque distribution, you can freely distribute power between the front and rear wheels.
It's genuinely fun. And the coolest part is this. You get that typical electric car thrust, instant torque, right from the start. So it's basically the perfect mix between a combustion engine and an electric car. Now we have to slow down a bit again, unfortunately. But the car weighs 2.2 tons, and it compensates for that really well. You barely notice how heavy it is. It handles corners beautifully. The steering also stood out to me right when I first got in. It's tuned quite firmly. And then you have the acceleration of an electric car on top of that. What's obviously missing, though, are the vibrations you'd get from a combustion engine. And of course, the smell, though not everyone's a fan of that anyway, that's gone too. So I wouldn't say the illusion is perfect, but it's a very good illusion. I haven't experienced a better one in any other car so far.
Normally, electric cars have a reputation for being sensible. The IONIQ 5N is probably the most nonsensical sensible car you can buy. It consumes 21.2 kilowatt-hours per 100 kilometers. The base model with 170 horsepower is about 30,000 euros cheaper and uses 15.6 kilowatt-hours per 100 kilometers, about 5.6 less. Still, 448 kilometers of range for the N model is respectable. Plus, it inherits the fast charging abilities from the base version. With 240 kilowatts and an 800-volt system, charging from 10 to 80% takes just 18 minutes. At market launch, Hyundai barely has any competition. Its platform sibling, the Kia EV6 GT, also offers up to 650 horsepower in the 2025 facelift model. Though it looks more understated, much smaller and cheaper, but with the same idea, the Abarth 500e. It too uses a sound generator to bring more emotion to the EV experience. It has 155 horsepower and costs 38,000 euros. If you want power on Hyundai's level, you'll need to step up to Porsche or similar. After the 2024 update, the Taycan Turbo now pushes 707 horsepower. Price? 176,000 euros, about 100,000 more than the Korean performer. 75,000 euros for a Hyundai is a hefty price, but is it justified?
Honestly, there's nothing quite comparable, especially in this price range. You get a car with serious performance, all-wheel drive, advanced charging tech, and nearly full equipment. Heated seats and steering wheel, navigation, 360-degree camera, all included. Only the panoramic roof and Alcantara seats are optional. That's it. So really, it's an all-inclusive fun package. You can't get that any cheaper. And for what it offers, you can't call it overpriced. After a full day with the Hyundai IONIQ 5N, did it cast its spell on me? I'll give it this. That ignition mode really does sound impressively close to a combustion engine. And if I put someone in the passenger seat who doesn't deal with cars every day, they'd totally believe it's a petrol engine if I told them so. But hey, I'm a car tester. I deal with cars every day. You won't fool me that easily. Performance-wise, though, absolutely brilliant. Despite its 2.2 tons, it's incredibly agile through corners. It's a blast to drive. But, and this is important, it's like vegetarian meat. No matter how good it tastes, it's still not the real thing. And the same goes here. It's not a combustion car.